Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Power Within podcast, the podcast that has on inspiring people with inspiring stories. And this episode is no different. I have a very special guest today. Her name is Yuki Fragariani, and she's based in County Meath. She's a hypnotist and yoga instructor, and she has a keen interest in mind, body, and spirit health. I know Yuki for a while now. She's a lovely person and really interesting, and I'm so looking forward to having a really deep dive, interesting discussion with her today on the Power Within podcast. So, without any further ado, let's bring her on. Yuki, it's great to have you on the podcast. How are you?
Barbara, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I know we met briefly at the Irish Hypnotherapy conference a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
and we had a really nice 10, 15 minutes. It's hard to get around everyone at those events. They're getting so big.
Yes.
They really are
It's
getting so
nice
big.
to see it grow
It
and
is, yeah, it's
meet new
fantastic the way it's
faces
grown.
and meet old faces as well.
Exactly, exactly. It's grown. It's been great, and well done to John and all the organizers that are involved in that. I know it's a huge amount of work that they do behind the scenes to make it happen. But in terms of like yourself, Yuki, I just a good starting point would be maybe for you to tell us a little bit about your journey and how you went down the hypnotherapy route and the yoga route as well.
Yes. Well, I well, my background is actually language. So I was a an English teacher for a long time. And then I also
Okay.
used to teach Japanese and I did translations, so classroom based or one-to-one. And then 15 years ago, we moved to Ireland and then I stopped working then. But yoga was my
Ah,
first step into the mind body world. Um, do you remember winter of 2010, Trevor? It was very cold. Well, for me, especially coming from a tropical country. And that
yeah,
winter, I
yeah.
just couldn't get the heat into my body. And then I heard there's this studio opening near where I live. It's a hot yoga studio, and the room is heated to 38 degrees. And I said, I'm in. Never mind the yoga. I'm going in for the heat.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, I started going to the classes and I fell in love straight away. Great teachers there. There's different instructors, different day. And then yeah, I started um, going into like more classes, different ones as well. And then I took a yoga teacher's training in 2017. And because, not really because I wanted to teach, but because I wanted to go deeper and into deeper understanding what yoga is about. I know in the Western world, there's a lot of quite like hype with the yoga, which is like, do you know that there are leggings costing 200 euros, for example?
Oh, really? Oh
Yes,
my.
yoga apparel, even the mats. It could be quite materialistic or
Right. Okay. Okay.
consumerism. Is that the word? Is
Consumerism, consumeristic. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But really, that's far away from the heart, the soul of yoga. And I went there just to go into forget the fancy clothes, the fancy mats, and really learned about it. Yeah, I didn't start teaching until 2020, actually.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so for 3 years after I got my certification, I did classes with friends, but just for fun to lead classes, but as not as a job or not to get money. I
Sure,
worked
sure.
in the corporate world for 7.5, quite a big company in Dublin. It is linked with the biggest social media company in the world. And I was a corporate trainer at that time, really,
Okay.
yeah, really not nice environment. And like it's like working for the United Nations. There's like I don't know how many nationalities working in that building.
Okay.
But 2020, it was, what happened around that time, and everybody was working, starting to work from home,
Sure.
and kind of like get disconnected with the world, really. And then that was my starting point of thinking of what can I do actually that makes more meaning, that has more meaning. And then searching, and then I found hypnotherapy and
Very good.
started to,
It's a good
yeah,
thing to find.
yes, it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so that was really the start. So now I do yoga for the body side, and the breathing actually takes us into, the present moment. And
Sure.
with hypnosis, I think that is a great combo between the mind, the body, and vice versa.
Absolutely. And we were just talking offline there about how perfect you are for this podcast because this isn't specifically necessarily a hypnosis podcast, even though I am a hypnotherapist and I do have some great hypnotherapist guests on the show. I like to keep the scope of the podcast open to all different modalities of mind, body, and spirit, health, and healing and well-being. And so I'm interested as well in yoga and all of the benefits that that can bring into your life. Would you like to, what's your take on that if you had to, if I knew nothing about yoga and I was coming to you and you were telling me about its benefits?
Oh, benefits. Oh, really? S- Most of yoga teachers at the beginning will tell the class to whatever you come in, when you come in the door, just leave everything behind and then focus on this is time for you on the mat for the next 60 minutes or how long the class is. You are replenishing your body and just making time for your body to connect back because modern life is so busy, right? And
Yeah.
we rush most of the time without actually realizing that we are rushing because that's the norm. Like even trying to find a parking space before going into the class could be you you're tense without knowing
Yeah,
it. And
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
in
absolutely.
on the mat, you just focusing on the breath. That's the first thing, and then moving your body purposely with intention. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, because like, the modern world that we live in, and again, we touched on that before you come on here, well, especially if you have children, then, there's so much going on. And I know in my life, my kids, they do the swimming, hurling, Muay
Mhm.
Thai, and I'm always rushing off to bring them here and bring them there on
Daddy
time.
taxi.
Yeah, you're looking at the watch just to make sure that I don't wear one, but it's a mobile phone these days.
Mhm.
But yeah, it always seems to be, going from A, B to C to D, and it is tough as well on children, I think. I mean, like I always think that especially children like younger than 10, they're up. I know my kids are up, woken up, say, 7:15 in the morning, have their breakfast, get ready, get out to get the bus at 8:10, get to
Mhm.
school for 10 to 9, then come back from school, the bus at 2:30, back at 3, maybe to have a couple of hours then until 5 to
Mhm.
relax and play, but then they're off again, as I said, to, the hurling or Muay Thai or some other activity. And it's only then maybe at 8 o'clock in the evening that everyone kind of sits down to have an evening meal,
Yeah.
and then maybe have 1 hour before everyone goes to bed. So
Mhm.
it is important to stop and be present in the moment. And, because we know, like, mindfulness, I'm sure you're aware of
Yeah.
mindfulness,
Mhm.
the past is history, folks, and tomorrow's a mystery. All we do have is the present moment.
Mhm.
And it's just even at the moment, and I know you're the same, Yuki, that we have children that the Easter break for two
Yeah.
weeks, and
Mhm.
definitely somebody that, and I'm sure you are as well, that likes to be present with their loved ones. So you want to be present and not always distracted and thinking of, like, whether it even be,
Yeah.
business or like meetings and like hypnotherapy or like yoga in your case, which is all great, but sometimes it can be um, stressful to, keep all the balls juggled, in the air, and to still, get everything done that you need to do. Um, and not like look back and think, oh, you know what, I missed out on those special moments with my children, to be present there and to just be here, present in the moment, and just focus on the breath.
Mhm.
Because, like, even us as therapists and me as hypnotherapists, that we need to do this more than even our clients, because if we're not present in the moment and we can't help ourselves, how can we help anyone else?
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
it does start, and don't know if you agree with that. What do you think about that? I mean, it doesn't start with the self, it starts with you and
Absolutely.
your inner work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jackson says, it starts with the man in the mirror.
The man in the mirror, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
does.
Mhm.
It does. And,
Mhm.
that's is so important, because people, like, especially in the work that we do, we can have different, obviously, variety, different personalities and people that come in our door into our office, and with
Mhm.
different types of energies, and sometimes they can dump some energy on us as well. We have to be very careful with that, because,
Yes. Mhm.
as you know, that, everything is energy, and we need to be working from a place of empowerment and being present with our client as well, because
Yeah.
people want that. I mean, when they come to see us, whether, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter, because, like, all due respect to, the medical establishment, and they have their role, and they do good as well. But I think, like, we've all had that experience where, you're in a doctor's office, and, you're just a number, you're in, you're out, you're like, next, please.
Yes. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
when our clients come to us, it's a more personal thing, that, want to build a rapport with them, build that trust, get to know them a little bit. And to do that, you need to be present. You can't be distracted. You can't be,
Mhm.
elsewhere thinking about, oh, I need to bring the kids to, you know, wherever in an hour. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's so important, isn't it, to have these, to integrate these brilliant practices into our daily life in this
Yes.
modern world.
I clear 10 minutes before I see a client, and then just shake everything off and then go into breath. And at the odd time that I have been rushing, doing something else or finishing another task, I um, would incorporate a couple of different yoga poses. For example, just
Right,
there's something called the mountain pose, Tadasana, which is just standing, but standing feeling strong like the mountain, and then
right,
really feeling really grounded, and just 1 minute of doing that with six full breathe in and breathe out really calms me down and get my head to focus. Okay, so this next 10 minutes, I'm going to be with someone who has trusted me to help them.
Yes.
So, you're right. We That's also for me not to jump 2 hours ahead thinking, what if after this, okay, I want to get this finished quickly so I can do the next one. So I find that the breathing and some really simple yoga pose, I know I do that. This is actually thanks to my first yoga teacher in Ireland, Frida Fitzsimmons. She must be in her 70s now. But she always says, take yoga off the mat.
Right. Okay.
Yes, take yoga off the mat. And what she meant is, all the different poses has meaning, which is not enough in a yoga class to teach and for the students to find out what a certain pose does to you mentally and physically. But that phrase, take yoga off the mat and
Right.
bring it, yes.
Okay.
That's
I
mhm.
like that mountain, standing tall. I like that metaphor, to be
Yes.
to ground yourself before you see your clients. And maybe you might teach me, spend 5 minutes teaching me that sometime at some stage because
Yes, of course. Yeah.
it sounds like a really cool way to focus in on the next client coming in the door.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah,
You can
so
do this while you are queuing for grocery, actually.
right, okay.
Yeah, and nobody will know any better that you're actually doing a yoga pose.
Yeah, you don't need a yoga mat.
No, not at all. That's why
Yeah,
Frida
yeah,
says,
yeah.
take yoga off the mat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, how then did hypnotherapy come into your life then after the yoga? No, yoga came in first, but how did that happen for you?
Okay, so 2020, we know what happens, and then we're home a lot. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
and I love food, I love cooking, and then every other day is trying new recipes and eating it. And soon enough, 2021, it is like, oh, all my jeans are not fitting very nicely.
right.
Um, and yeah, and I started looking at exercise classes, um, you know, to get fit. And I came across as a weight, an audio for gastric band. Well, I'm not in the stage where that I would need a gastric band surgery or anything like that, but that sparked my
Sure.
interest. So the first interest for hypnosis actually through the weight loss because I was doing something. Um, I've always I have my weight fluctuates over the year, and as I mentioned, I love cooking and I love dieting, or I used to love dieting.
Yeah,
I have loads of diet books at home because I tried a lot of different ones. So back to your questions, though, the entry to hypnosis and hypnotherapy was through weight loss. It was like, oh, it's very interesting that you can actually make a person think or feel like they've had a surgery without having the surgery, but getting the result. And I thought, oh, this is mind blowing, practically.
yeah,
Yeah. So I started looking into it more and then decided I uh, train as a hypnotist.
great.
Yeah, I've used it on myself. I think most hypnotherapists have used it for themselves. And I'm just guessing you have as well, Trevor.
Sure. Well, the old saying is all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, you know,
Hmm.
and that's something where, like, I've been doing a lot of work to make hypnotherapy as accessible, folks, to as many people as possible. Because, the feeling, that hypnotic feeling we all have experienced, like if we've daydreamed or been lost in a thought, lost in a moment, lost in a song, that feeling we get when the outside world seems to drift away. And in many respects, actually, when a client comes to see me for smoking, to take one example, they're actually already hypnotized. They're in a smoking trance. So all hypnosis really is self-hypnosis. In many ways, we are de-hypnotizing our clients out of learned patterns of behavior,
Yeah.
repetitive patterns of behavior, which of course we call habits, right? And
Yes.
habits are not necessarily bad. There are good habits as well. I mean, when you say the word habit, habit is a kind of there's a negative connotation to that word habit, right? When we say habit, we think of biting our nails or smoking or something like that. But actual fact, you know, eating healthy is a
It's a
habit.
habit.
Getting
Hmm.
up, say, early in the morning and going for a walk is a good habit to get into. And even little things like for me, recently, I still have the odd drink of a cup of coffee, because
Hmm.
coffee is kind of the drug of the masses. But and we're conditioned to think we need it in the morning, so we need our coffee, all right?
Hmm.
But actual fact, hold on a minute, stop. Do we actually need it? And
Hmm.
you'll find that we don't necessarily. It's just something that, right, we're conditioned, oh, get the coffee in the morning.
Yes.
And I made a
And
little
sometimes,
change.
sometimes the habit is like we picked
Mm.
up on a habit without knowing. It's like
Mm.
watching other people do it and then, oh, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as children, that's the number one way we learn. It's watching our parents, isn't it? And
Hmm.
our influencers and the role models that we have as children. How are they behaving? How are they responding or reacting to life's situations? And then you can pick up those habits that can become human see, human do, for a better want of an expression.
Yeah.
But the change I made in my life was that just a small one. Like I started to drink a homemade tea, which the ingredients were and are uh, ginger,
Hmm.
so grated ginger, a squeeze of lemon, and a half a capful of apple cider vinegar. Now, when I started drinking that drink, it was like, oh, like I
Bitter,
don't.
sour.
It's obviously you need to acquire a taste for
Hmm.
it. But after a while, I mean, this to say, and I think it's true, that it only takes 21 days to acquire a taste for anything.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
all of a sudden, you can actually and I love that drink now. Whereas, like, when I started drinking it first, it was like, oh, but your taste buds do change, we're
Yes.
always growing,
Mhm.
and all the organs in our body. And, it's our mindset as well, because if we think something is going to be
Difficult or
hard
not
or not
nice.
nice, well, it
Yeah.
will be. If you see somebody, like if you take up some, see children pick up a piece of vegetable and go, oh, they haven't even put it in their mouth yet, but they're like, oh no, I don't like that. But if you approach something going, okay, I'm going to get used to this and the texture of it and it's different and give it a
Yeah.
chance, then you'll find you might surprise yourself. Some of the
Yes.
vegetables, for example, that you may think you don't like, maybe you do like. So it's not written in stone. And that's the thing you learn with hypnotherapy, isn't it? And hypnosis that uh,
Yeah.
it does start with our mindset and developing it allows us to develop healthy habits while shedding old, outdated patterns and habits that don't serve
Yeah.
our
Hmm.
best interests in terms of our health and our well-being.
Absolutely.
You
It's
know?
funny you mentioned about the taste of the apple cider vinegar and
Yeah,
ginger. Um, Apple cider vinegar now tastes, I kind of get a hint of sweetness in there.
sure.
Don't you find? Yes. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Sure. And it is a very actually, if you know, it's a very healthy drink and it's only a small change, but if you compare coffee to the drink that I've just mentioned,
Mhm.
then there's only one winner when it comes to health and well-being, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And so it's just a little change, but it can make a little bit of a difference for me. It does help my digestion and things like that. And but look at it, I mean, it's still, sometimes if I feel I need a pick me up or caffeine, yeah, I'll have a cup of coffee, but
Mhm.
at the same time, at least I have those choices now that I can, um, I have the healthier option there, as well. And it's not about denying yourself, I don't think, as well, because
Oh,
if
I don't
you
agree with
know,
that. Yeah.
no,
Mhm.
no, if you get into like that's what like diets. I mean, that's why a lot of diets end up they don't work because like we don't as human beings, we don't like to feel that we're missing out, do we?
Deprived.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Mhm.
you hear it as well. You hear it as well on people that smoke going, "Oh, I'm going to give up," you know. And if you actually analyze what give up, what are you saying to yourself? When you say, "I'm going to give up," well, is that making a sacrifice? You're
Yeah.
telling yourself, your
Mhm.
subconscious, you're making a
Mhm.
sacrifice. And by doing so, then, we don't like to make sacrifices. So it's the way the whole dynamic of it works to set it up in a way that it makes it easy for you. So if you start out
Mhm.
saying that, you hear it all the time, don't you? That I'm going to try and give up smoking. So straight away, when you hear that, like there's a lot wrong with that sentence because you can try.
Yeah.
We know try.
Try
You
is very trying.
yeah, try. The harder you try to do something, folks, the harder it gets, right? It's hard to consciously will yourself to do something. Whereas, like
Mhm.
with hypnotherapy, of course, we're focused on that and we're connecting in with that deeper level and that subconscious level where, when we integrate um, productive and healthy practice and choices into our life, they need to
Mhm.
be done in a seamless way. Just like brushing your teeth before you go to bed. If it's a chore, oh, I need to do this now,
Mhm.
then it will only be short term. It's not going to be lasting. And I think that's the difference. Would you agree, like between diets and hypnotherapy? Because hypnotherapy, the changes are at that deeper level where you're making choices that where you want for you in an
Yes.
easy way.
Actually, Trevor, I wasn't even aware that I was addicted to trying out diets. Like it's a pattern. Like um coming into the end of the year,
Sure.
the all those fancy women magazine will have
Hmm.
the newest diet.
Right.
So with me, it's funny because I love cooking, I love food. At the end of the year, I will buy the recipe magazine, like the new way to put with your Christmas turkey, for example.
Right. Okay.
And then on the other hand, I buy the magazine which has the latest diet on it. And then coming into Christmas, New Year, I tried different recipes. I eat a lot. I enjoy invite. I love having friends over. Um, and then come New Year, it will be like, okay, that's the other magazine now. Well, let's try the new diets. And all of them work. All the diets work
Right. Yeah.
when I did that. And then when I stop, it's just like one back to square one.
Sure.
Yeah, and then through hypnosis, I found out that that's a pattern, and then changing the core of it. Like it's not. yeah, it's like a plaster. The diet is like a plaster.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And the reason the presenting issue in a lot of cases, whether it be comfort eating or, making the wrong food choices or whatever, that is not the issue. Usually there's other emotional reasons behind that, um, those choices, right?
Yes. For me, it was identity.
Okay.
Yeah. I logically I know what is healthy. I know that sugar creates inflammation in the body, and then if you're just able to ditch sugar out of your, processed sugar out of your life, that's you are making leaps and bounds for your health.
Yeah.
I know that, but but
Sugar is
yeah.
everywhere these days. It's hard to avoid it. I mean, you go into a supermarket and there's aisles and aisles of it, like, we're bombarded by it, right?
Mhm.
And it can be difficult, and the society that we live in. I mean, it's a sad day, like folks, you go into a supermarket and you have to ask, where is the health food section? Well, think about that. And then you feel bad and you're kind of like, you're looked at funny. What? What do you mean? So it can be difficult for people, Yuki, isn't it, out there to make those right choices, because it's not just the obvious, the sugars like in ice creams and cakes and
Mhm.
stuff. It's the hidden, sugar
Yeah, food
in your food.
companies are very clever. They have found the right balance of different taste accumulation of that hits the sweet spot in the brain. It's like, oh, I want more of this. Like I think there was a study in the 80s, sweet uh, food that is marketed as sweets don't have salt in it.
Okay.
And food that is savory won't have sugar in it. But now, if you pick up something like a packet of crisps, for example, depending on the flavor, there would be like hidden sugar somewhere. So they have created this sweet and salty taste that is perfect for people to eat, and then they just want more.
Yeah, that's it. And another thing as well, I find when it comes to this is, and you know this, into the mind, body, and spirit, that how
Mhm.
many of us actually listen to our body, to actually listen to our body's needs.
Yes. Mhm. Yeah, this is what I teach in my combination of the mind body connection. So I run classes, and some I have a full yoga class that where we do just the asanas, the poses, and there is another class that I run which is more a combination of different modalities. And in this class, I teach how to really tune into your body, and then your body is always telling you whether something is good or not, and to even when with food, to stop and really feel the sensation when you are eating something. Are you actually enjoying this? And um, can I go back to your drink of with the apple cider vinegar,
Sure.
Trevor?
Yeah.
A few years ago, I had a very bad skin condition, and I did the research. I went to the dermatologist, and then this is exactly what you said earlier. It's like you don't feel heard. It's just you come in, you come in, and then the doctor sees you for 10 minutes. You pay 250 quid for it, and you don't feel like, but I haven't told you what I'm experiencing. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. It's just next, please.
yes.
Next. Yeah.
Yes. So I did my research. It was like, what would be the root cause of my skin, the skin problems. And I follow a lot of different advices. some people says gut health, and this is what you need to do for gut health. The kombucha, the fermented food, and apple
That's
cider
right.
vinegar is supposed to clear the system. And then I tried something else, but I was following things, but not really connected with my what my body is saying, is telling me. And I was taking all the good advice, which are all good, but not necessarily good for me. And that's what I want to share with people, especially in this class, to yes, to find out what works for you. Because if you have muscle pain, for example, some people said, okay, a hot bath is good to relax the muscle, or is it cold bath after a long run, or vice versa. But when you are in tune with what is happening in your body, you get to have this feeling, oh yeah, this works, this doesn't work. Am I making sense? I hope that
Sure,
that
sure.
makes
So
sense. Yes.
to do
Mhm.
it in a way that's right for you, right? That
Yes.
we're all different. Everyone has, bodies have different um, needs.
Yes.
And you know your body better than anybody else. And to find what what's right for you, because what might be right for somebody else might not necessarily be the key that you're looking for.
Yes. That's the message.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. And I found that out over a period of time. I mean, like we're all conditioned to have the three meals a day: breakfast,
Mhm.
lunch, and dinner, breakfast, dinner, and lunch, and all then snacks in between. And over the last 10 years, I mean, well, even 20 years, I have been experimenting with different ways of eating and different lifestyle diets, like uh, vegetarian for a couple of years, for example.
Mhm.
But on that road, on that journey, I also discovered fasting as well. And for me, I had something in my head that I had associated fasting with starvation. And so I tended to keep it at arm's length because I like my food, right?
Mhm.
But when I was experiencing a few years ago gut problems, I had an inflamed gut.
Mhm.
And I was eating healthy, what I thought was healthy breakfasts. I mean, I was eating a bowl of fresh fruit with, some yogurt on top and chia seeds and, grains and nuts,
Mhm.
the sunflower seeds as well. But, the cramps still persisted and the problem still remained.
Mhm.
And it was only by speaking to a friend of mine one morning that he suggested to me, he said, he put it in a way that he used the metaphor of the washing machine. So if you think about it from the day you're born, that your whole digestive system is like a washing machine. So
Mhm.
everything that you put into your body, is constantly breaking down, breaking down, breaking down, processing that through every,
Mhm.
every day of every year, all your life. And sometimes if we have an inflammation in our gut, we need to stop eating because we need to stop that process. If we keep putting food in there,
Doesn't have
even healthy
enough
food,
time. Mhm.
an already inflamed area, then it's just going to not give your body a chance to heal because we know that our bodies, our minds as well, and bodies have tremendous healing capacities.
Mhm.
And it's giving our body an opportunity to work, that process. So I said, okay, I'll give this a go and I'll stop eating for 24 hours, which again, I hadn't done before, but I had thought, that it was going to be difficult, like 24 hours without food. Oh my God. But it turned out to be, even though it was a challenge, I kept hydrated. I drank plenty of water,
You
and
did?
the last few hours, like like I did feel a bit dizzy, but I made it through. And the first time, like everything in life, the first time to do something is always the most challenging. And it's not too bad, especially if you if you say if you have your meal before 6 o'clock, you don't eat for the rest of the evening, you go to bed, you get up in the morning, don't have a breakfast, and all of a sudden you've only a few hours left before 24 hours because
Yeah. Hmm.
after 18 hours, your body fasting, it stimulates your body to release stem cells and other like growth hormones even that will direct
Hmm.
healing to the inflamed area. So this is based on the principle too that over thousands of years,
Yeah. Hmm.
we have evolved as we were never meant to eat 3 meals a day. Like hunter-gatherers, like we might have a big meal and then,
Sometimes there's food, sometimes there isn't.
well, exactly, yeah. And this thing about constantly, we can, this is a thing where you hear all the time that your breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And I thought that at one point as well. But
Mm.
then I reconsidered, and it's not necessarily. And so I mean, I don't do it every day, but I find though I do eat less than I used to.
Mhm.
And again, it goes back to conditioning your body to, and eventually after, a couple of, once you do it a couple of times, like anything in life, it does get easier. And I did have really a lot of benefits from doing that. And again,
Mhm.
it goes back to, as you said, listening to your body, being mindful of what's right for you, again, and keeping an open mind because sometimes you have to kind of think outside of the box of,
Yes. Mhm.
answers that the mainstream will provide. So that's something where, like, when it comes to hypnosis and hypnotherapy, which we both love, that we can provide these opportunities for and insights into mind, body, and spirit that
Yeah.
most people don't realize, as you know, how powerful our body is as a healing device, as a healing
It's
mechanism.
very clever. Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And most people aren't aware of it or not connected in with that.
Yeah.
How do you look at that? Is that something that you would resonate with you?
Oh, yes, yes. Well, our this different systems in our body is so amazing. Like the body heals itself or has a natural ability to heal itself. It's like if you have a cut, there is regeneration of cells, and then it will
Right.
heal.
That's right.
If there is if we ate something that is bad, for example, and we vomit it out, that's the body natural response to take out the stuff that is not supposed to be in the body. Or fever, for example, it's because there is something going on in the body that needs to be let out. And
That's another thing, isn't it? Like with a fever that I find that, you get a fever, and, especially if our children, get a temperature,
mhm,
it's also, oh, no, panic, and it's to actually stop that natural process where it's actually beneficial because it's raising the temperature of your body to get rid of the bad bacteria or
yeah,
anything that's there that is causing the illness, right?
yeah. Well, I'm not advocating at all of not taking any medicines. That's not what I meant. Like last week I've been having like a swollen gum. This is I have um like a weak point in my top um row of teeth. If I missed a spot, it could develop into like, anyway, not getting into the nitty-gritty detail of my teeth.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I had my gum was swollen. Okay, and I tried the natural one, warm water with salt, and I went to the health shop to get, um, you know, a tincture. I asked, is there a herbal mouthwash that has no alcohol in it? And I found one, I used that. And after 5 days coming to a week, it still doesn't go down. And by coincidence, my dental appointment was due. So I went in. It's just perfect timing because I was having a problem actually with my
Right,
teeth.
right.
And the doctor gave me antibiotics. And I take it
Mm.
because I've done the salt water. I've done the natural
Sure,
herb,
sure, sure,
which
sure.
does its work. But 2 days into I'm still in the course now, and it's gone significantly. It's almost I can
Right,
eat properly
right.
now, get normally. Yeah, modern medicine has its place.
Sure, for
But
sure.
now
Yeah.
also with the awareness that antibiotics kill the good guts in the bacteria, so now I'm more careful and I add more stuff. Um, um, Fresh vegetables and to yogurt to keep my gut healthy,
Yeah.
which might be lower now being killed by the antibiotics.
Good stuff. So just getting up back to the hypnotherapy and
Yeah.
that you qualified back in was it 2020
2022.
2022,
Mhm.
and have you got into any particular specific areas of hypnotherapy in terms of the clients that you help, or what is your passion? What areas do you really like?
I love working with women and sugar addiction
Okay,
and weight loss. And then also my clients are mostly women, even though I do take men as well. And the area of addiction, like sugar, uh, because, as you said, everywhere there's sugar, and then we think that our taste buds are conditioned to it. I'm from Indonesia, and then Indonesian people will put a lot of sugar in their teas and coffees. There
right,
are, yeah, there are tea drinks like in bottles, like you would get soft drinks in Indonesia. There's this famous one called teh botol, which is like bottled tea.
right.
It's probably has like five teaspoons of sugar in like 330
Which is
milliliter bottle. And
yeah,
I used to love that. And now I don't. It tastes yuck to me when I try that. Because sometimes you get nostalgic and then you find that in an Asian shop and then you say, oh, that's the brand that I used to get. And I take a sip of that. It's like I can't. And yeah, I help clients now with sugar addiction. There's a lot of and weight loss as well. As I mentioned, I was a serial dieter. I've stopped that and I want to let everybody know that you don't have to go on another diet when you know that what's good for your body. And um, yeah, that's my passion at the moment.
brilliant, brilliant. And I see that you also run meditational retreats. I see you on
Mm.
social media. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I run day retreats combining yoga and hypnotherapy. So my signature, I do different themes, but my signature retreat is called the Joy Retreat.
Wow.
So this is like tapping in into what really makes us happy, what makes us have that nice butterfly in the tummy feeling, like like your heart expand when all the different things just connected to that feeling. And it's joy and letting go. So letting go of things that are weighing you down, letting go of worry or stress or old grudges.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then when that's gone from your heart, from your mind, you have more space to let joy and happiness in.
Yeah, sure. So you can remove that chip on your shoulder, folks. If you go to UK, you can let go of any baggage or burdens that you may be carrying you don't even know about, right?
Yes. You know,
Cool.
I had one attendee who every time she drove past a road, she got like upset. And she knew that it's something so silly. It's something happened in her 20s um, that upset her. And it's all, she said, all done and forgotten. But still, every time she drive past that uh, area, that house,
Yeah,
she
right.
felt like
Yeah,
that's gone. Coming into the day retreat, it's very, very relaxing day. And the hypnosis part is the letting go part.
for sure, for sure. Well,
Yes.
Yuki, I've one eye on the time. Time has
Yep.
flown here today, and it's been fantastic having you
It's
on the
great chatting to
podcast
you,
here.
Trevor.
I've really enjoyed your company.
Same here. Thank you.
And before you leave, as I ask all of my guests, would you have any departing words of wisdom you would like to share with myself and my audience before you sign off?
I say your body knows, and tap in, tune in, and turn on that power that everybody has and you have. That's for me.
Excellent, excellent. Great stuff. And is there any, have you a website or any social media that you would like to share so that folks you can contact Yuki?
Yes, I am on Instagram, Mindworks Hypnotherapy, and my website is yukifragariani.com. And I'm on Facebook as Yuki Fragariani as well. Would love to connect with you there.
Great stuff. And have you any upcoming retreats
Yes, my next
you'd like
retreat
to?
is in May. I have three retreats actually coming in May. So the third
Right.
Saturday, the 3rd of May, I am holding a day retreat in Wicklow in Hollywood. It's a beautiful foresty natural area. On the 31st of May, also Saturday, it's again my joy retreat. It's in a concert hall, beautiful building in Balbriggan, County Fingal.
Nice, nice. So there you go, folks. Is it a many a 2 day? Would it a weekend, is it?
It's just one day. It's a
Oh, one
day
day, one
retreat
day. A day
from 12
retreat.
o'clock,
Okay.
from 9:30 to 4 o'clock.
Sounds fantastic.
So
Sounds
no need to worry about leaving the house for too long. You
right.
come in the morning, you come refreshed, you go home like bringing new joy.
Oh, look, it sounds fantastic, doesn't it, folks? I tell you. You have to be there. So, look, Yuki, thanks again. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast and thanks for your time today and your company. And best of luck, genuinely, sincerely, best of luck with everything and
Thank you.
and keep in touch. Okay? We'll
I
be in
will
touch
do.
anyway, I'm sure.
Yes. Thank you, Trevor. And
Yuki,
best wishes to you too.
thanks very much. I really appreciate it. Yuki, take care.
Thank
And
you.
folks, that time has come again to say goodbye. It's flown by again. And until the next episode of the podcast, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Hope you're enjoying these episodes of season 3 in the podcast. I have some great guests lined up. It's going to be, hopefully, touch wood, a long season. And the reason I do it is that, look, first of all, we were just saying earlier on, I enjoy doing the podcast because, look, I'm learning off all of my guests. Everyone that comes on here, I really seep all the information in and process it all through. And I hope you're getting the same from it. But as said, until next time, be good to yourselves, and we'll see you on the next episode of the podcast. Take care, folks. We'll see you soon.